Salam sejahtera to Encik Abdullah AZRAAI bin Hassan. Today, our group will be presenting and discussing regarding case study for the subject of Windows Server Administration. The code for this subject is DFN50223. Before we go further in explaining our case study for the subject of WSA, let me introduce my team members, which is myself. My name is Vinoshan, son of Nadason, and my metric number is 19DDT21F1015. And my friend, THARVIN, son of MANOHAR, metric number 19DDT21F1009. This is the case study question. So the background or the scenario is branch cache is a wide area network, one bandwidth optimization technology that is included in some edition of the Windows Server 2019 R2 and Windows 10 operating systems. To optimize one bandwidth, branch cache copies content from your main office content servers and cache that the content at branch office location, allowing client computers at branch offices to access the content locally rather than over the one. Branch cache can be deployed in both distributed cache mode and hosted cache mode and allows you to deploy hypertext transfer protocol HTTP, background intelligent transfer service, bits, and server message block SMB-based content servers that are web servers, application servers, and file servers respectively. So below we can see that the topology, there is two PC. The first PC is named as client branch 01. Client branch 01 is connected to the first server. There are two servers in this topology, connected via VMnet 6 to SRVR BR02, and SRVR BR02 server is connected to cloud via VMnet 4. Cloud is internet, and from the internet it is connected to another one more server DC01. And from DC01, it is connected via VMnet 5 to a different PC, which is client HQ01. So as we can see, this is the IP addressing table. Server 1, the host name is DC01. There are two interfaces for server 1, which is VMnet 4 and VMnet 5. VMnet 4, this is the IP address. The gateway and also the DNS server are also stated. Same goes to VMnet 5. The IP address and DNS server is stated, but the gateway is not stated. Server 2, the host name is SRVBR02. There are two interfaces, which is VMnet 4 and VMnet 6. There are IP addresses for both the VMnet. The gateway, there is only for VMnet 4, but VMnet 6, there's no gateway and DNS server. Client 1, the host name is client HQ01. Client 2, the host name is client branch 01. Client 1 is connected to one network, which is VMnet 5. Client branch 01 is connected to one network, which is VMnet 06. For these two clients, IP addresses, gateway, and DNS servers are given. So part 1 is to build the network and configure basic device settings. Step 1, build the network as shown in the topology. So we can see there are server 1, server 2, client 1, and client 2. This is the topology that we have configured. Number 2 is to configure the basic settings for each server, which is to set the host name for server as shown in the topology. So we can see that server 1, we are naming the computer name as DC01. Server 2, we are naming it as SRV BR02. And client 1, we are naming it as client HQ01. Secondly, we have to set the IP addresses listed in the addressing table for all the interfaces for the server. So server 1, as we have seen, there is VMnet 4, VMnet 5. So the IP addresses is as shown in the pictures below. Server 2 is VMnet 4. Number 2, part 2 is to install the Windows service. The first step is to perform installation in the Windows Server services according to the topology. So server 1 is to install the Active Directory. So as we can see below, the Active Directory is being installed and the installation is in progress. Number 1, promote server 1 as a domain controller. So we can see in the picture below. And number 2 is to add a new forest and set appropriate root domain name. So the root domain name will be named as branch.my. And then B, server 1 is next we need to install the file server branch cache for network files. So we can see that we are installing file server and branch cache for network files. Next is on server feature, we need to select branch cache. So we can see that we are selecting branch cache here. And server 2, we need to install as what we have installed in server 1, which is file server branch cache for network files. Step 2 is to make server 2 client 1 and client 2 to join the Active Directory that has been set up in server 1. So server 2, we can see that the domain we have automatically connected to branch.my. Next is client 1 and client 2. We can see that client 1 and client 2 also we have already insert the domain as branch.my. Client 2 also branch.my. And the last step is step 3, verify each service on each server is running up. And so we can see there are two servers, server 1 and server 2. Next will be presented by Tarvin.
A pleasant day to Sir Abdullah and pleasant day to all. My name is Tharvin, my DDT 21F1009. As a continuation of this case study of Windows Server Administration, the part 3 is configure branch cache setting server 1. The branch cache configuration. Step 1, we need to enable hash publication for branch cache on local group policy editor. So first we need to click on the computer configuration, then select local computer policy, and then go to administrative templates, and then go to the network, and then select landmark server. Next. Next, we need to set the protocol to TCP, port number to next step 2, create a new policy under local group policy editor. So first, we need to go local computer policy. Then we need to select computer configuration. And then we need to go to the window settings. And then finally, we go to policy based. So first, set policy name. The policy name is as limit to 100 kbps. And then B, set specify DSP value to 0. As you can see on the screenshots over here, the value is 0, and then the set output total rate to 100 kps. Then we need to set QoS policy applies to all applications. As you can see on the pictures is shown. Then specify the source and destination IP addresses to any source IP addresses and any destination IP address. Next. Next, we need to set the protocol to TCP, port number to from any source port and destination port to any destination port. As you can see, the screenshot over here is related to the question. Step 3, create new folder on drives. So first, on the folder properties, we need to click on advanced sharing, then set the folder to share this folder. And as you can see on the pictures is shown, the share name is cache and the limit number of simultaneous users is 16777. Thanks. As the continuation of step 3, after that we need to select the domain users cache and then add. Then we need to set caching to enable branch cache. Then step 4, edit the default domain policy under root domain name under computer configuration. So we need to go to the policies. Then we need to select Windows settings and then security settings and then Windows Defender Firewall with advanced security and Windows Defender Firewall with advanced security in inbound rules. So first we need to set permission on firewall in inbound rules to allow branch cache. So as you can see on the pictures shown, branch cache content retrieval used HTTP and then peer discovery uses WST. So we click on the branch cache content retrieval uses HTTP and branch cache peer discovers uses WST. It's like step 5, we need to force group policies update to activate the policy using command prompt gp update boot force command. As we can see on the pictures of command prompt, the it's shown the updating policy and then updating policy on server 1 and also server 2. Step 6, create a new organizational unit under root domain name, group policy management. Set the new organization unit name to branch. As we can see on the pictures, the name is as branch. Then create and then create a GPO under the new organizational unit. Branch created on step 6. So we need to set the GPO name to branch cache. As we can see on the screenshot shown, the name is branch cache. Step 8, edit the new GPO created in step. First, go to computer configuration and then policies and then go to administrative templates, then network and branch cache. First, turn on branch cache set to be enabled. So as we can see on the picture is shown, we click on enabled and then enable automatic hosted cache discovery by service connection point set to be enabled. As we can see on the pictures shown, we click on the enable automatic hosted cache discovery by service connection point. And then we need to click enabled, then configure branch cache for network files, set to enabled and set options to 0 for the type the maximum round trip network latency options. As we can see on the screenshot shown, the configure branch cache for network policies. Then step 9, move client 1 and client 2 to branch OU under the and computers. As see on the screenshot shown, client 1 Q01 and client 2 that branch. Server 2 branch cache configuration. Step 1, enable branch cache on server 2 by issuing command enable BC hosted server register SCP on Windows PowerShell. So first we need to enter the command enable PC hosted server. Then step 2, verify the branch cache is enabled and running by issuing command get PC status on Windows PowerShell. As we can see on the screenshot shown, we typed get busy status, and the output shows. Step 3, force group policy update to activate policy comment prompt, GP update, boost boot force comment. As we can see on the PC, the comment prompt, the comment as GP update. Then client 1 and client 2. Step 1, verify the branch cache status by issuing comment next. Branch cache show status all on comment prompt. Then restart the client machine if the status is stopped. As we can see on the command prompt, the output shows for the configuration. Next. So that one is for client 1 and this one is for client 2. So we already successfully we completed our case study for Windows Server Administrator subject. That's all from us. Thank you to Sir Abdullah to give us the wonderful opportunity to complete our task. Thank you.